In this video, we'll discuss about inheritance in Solidity. Let's create a new file here. Inheritance.sol. And let me copy and paste the header. Let's create a new contract here. Let's say contract 1. We need at least 2 contracts to inherit something from the other contract. So let's create one more contract. Let's say contract 2. Now inside the contract 1, let's define a function. Let's say one function. This function does not take any parameter. Set it to public and pure. We are not using any state variable. And let's say it returns string memory. And return the value here, one function. Let's copy and paste the same function inside the contract 2 as well. I will change the name to 2 function, and also I will change the value to 2 function. Now let's say I want to access this function inside the contract 2. All I need to do is use the is keyword, and by doing so, it will inherit all the functions and variables that are available inside the contract 1. So let's do is 1. So now I will be able to access this function inside here. So let's do function and call function 1. Set it to public and pure. Let's say returns string memory. And here I can do return. I can call this function directly, one function. And that's it. We know one function returns this value here, and we are returning the same value here. So now this function is available here. So one more thing to notice, when we do is 1, so that means it is going to copy the entire code of this contract inside this code. And then it is going to deploy a contract on the blockchain. So now let's deploy this. Make sure you select contract 2. When you select the contract 2, it will automatically copy the whole code of contract 1, and it is gonna deploy everything in one copy itself. And now you can see we have all the functions available, including the function 1. You see we have not declared the function 1 here, but it is still available because we have inherited it here. So now if I'll click on this, so it should return one function. So this is how you can inherit any function or any other types from contract 1 to contract 2. So now if I'll call the function 2, so it will simply show us this value because this is defined inside the contract 2. But when we will call the call function 1, so now it is going to call this function which is available inside the contract 1, but still we will be able to access inside this function. Let's do it. And you can see we are returning the value here, one function, which is coming from here. And that's how inheritance works in Solidity. Let's see one more example here. Let's define a constructor in this contract. And it takes string parameter, string memory, let's say underscore name. And we will also declare one variable here, state variable. Let's say string public name, and here we can set the value of the name. Let's say name is equal to underscore name. So this means whenever we will deploy this contract and whatever value is passed, it will set that value inside this state variable. So now we need to change here as well. So since we have declared the constructor here, now we need to pass some value here. So let me pass my name, Anni, and now we are all set. So let's remove and deploy. So once I will deploy, right now you see I did not set or initialize any value inside the public variable here. But once we will deploy, you will see this value inside the name variable. Let's deploy it. Let's see the value inside name, and you can see it has set the value name. So let's say if you have multiple contracts to inherit, so what you can do is let's simply copy this contract for now. And let me remove this. We do not want any constructor or anything here. And also your function name should be little different. So I will change it to 1 and I change the contract to 3. And here you can just separate it with comma and simply do 3. So now this function will be available inside this contract as well. So you can inherit multiple contracts like this. If it has any constructor, so you can pass the value similar way we have passed it to the contract one. So this is how you can inherit the values or the functions from one contract to another.